Hiya friends, Prepared Suburbanite back at ya. You know, with all the nonsense going on in the world today, it's really difficult to try to imagine what life is like in the Ukraine itself. Those folks are fleeing the country. Last I heard, there was over 3 million folks that have left, residents that have left the Ukraine and are seeking asylum or temporary shelter in neighboring countries. It's really quite a shame. Given that and what the impact and the effects of this conflict or this war in Ukraine brought on by this Russian expansionism that's had a huge impact on fertilizer, a huge impact on the food growing potential in that particular region. The Ukraine has always been looked at as being the breadbasket of Europe. They're not really able to do anything right now, and it's going to have a crippling effect on us here in the United States and worldwide. So I wanted to get into a little bit of detail. I want to talk about investing in tangibles, so stick around. Oh, tangibles. I heard Alaska Prepper say the other night on his live stream, he used the word tangibles. And I know what it means, but I'm sure that there are folks out there that don't really quite understand what tangibles are. Well, from my perspective, tangibles are pretty much anything that you can touch and feel and own. So that would be your food storage, your water storage, cooking utensils, your real estate, potential for gold and silver. I'm not sure that it actually should include fiat currency like US dollars and stuff like that. Possibly Bitcoin, but I'm not sure that you can actually hold on to a real for real Bitcoin, but you can trade electronically for them. But I'm talking tangibles. I'm talking about stuff you can basically sink your teeth into. Stuff that we need to be making sure that we have all the tangibles that we can afford. It's been said by many of my colleagues in the prepper community that having money in the bank really doesn't do you any good. Investing that in tangibles, in goods, in things like food, freeze dryers, dehydrators, cooking equipment, alternative cooking equipment, even silver and gold, which I continue to invest in, at least silver anyway. I'm not I really can't afford doing too much gold here and there, but I do invest on a regular basis in silver according to my budget. I invest my dollars in all kinds of different prepping equipment, prepping stores, number 10 cans of dehydrated stuff from places like Nutrient Survival and Emergency Essentials and Mountain House, places like that I find are a very reliable source of nutrition, food, calories, whatever we're going to need after the S hits the fan. There's a lot of folks that are really calling for a huge worldwide correction. And I think that's maybe going out on a limb a little bit, but I have no faith whatsoever in our current political establishment here in the United States. It makes me nervous every time the president opens his mouth, every time the vice president opens her mouth, it just makes me nervous. I think I said in a previous video that his rhetoric, his mistakes, his gaffes may actually draw us closer into worldwide war or World War III. It's a shame, and it's one of those kinds of things that when you lose confidence, then all kinds of weird stuff can come into play. I see a number of news articles and different places on the internet that are really stoking fear right now, and fear is not the right answer. Fear induces panic. If you've ever seen a wild animal that's been backed into a corner and how fearful they are, or even a domestic dog that's been abused, that you back them into a corner, they're going to get pretty aggressive, they're going to panic, and they're going to do something that's going to harm you or harm itself. So be aware that the stoking of the fear will drive panic. I think we saw it a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when the fear porn was out there on the whole COVID thing. I'm not sure I can say that anymore on YouTube, but there was a lot of fear. People were panic buying. You couldn't find toilet paper. You couldn't find paper towels. You couldn't find milk. You couldn't find butter. And eggs were gone. And bacon was few and far between. It was a lot of that was panic buying. And as preppers in this particular prepper community that we live in, and I can only assume that most of the folks that are watching this are true preppers, that panic is far from their minds, because we've taken the time to inventory what we've got, make those lists of things that we think we need, the tangibles that we know we must have, and we're stocking up on it. We're using our income, anything excess, keeping things within a scope of manageability, so that there is no panic going on. Talk about tangibles. Found it very interesting that word was bantered around a bit, not only on Alaska Preppers' recent live stream, but there's a number of other places that are really looking hard at tangibles, and stuff that's real, that you can touch, you can hold on to. Solar generators, gasoline-powered generators, propane generators. Those are the kinds of tangibles that we need to be looking at as preppers if we want to survive what's coming. And I see the day, given what's going on in Ukraine right now, I see the day that we're going to be facing food shortages, that we're going to be facing rationing of food, that we're going to be facing price controls on other commodities, maybe even food, where you can't sell a gallon of milk more than X dollars, or you can't sell a gallon of gas more than X dollars, and you can only buy it on alternate days based on your license plate number and all that kind of stuff. I can remember doing that in the 70s when we were facing the last oil embargo nonsense. But we're going to be facing it again, and I think we're going to be facing it in a much bigger capacity, a much more devastating capacity. So I've got to urge all the viewers that are watching this to really take a good hard look at what you're spending your money on your preps, and where you're spending all that money. And do you have the tangibles that you really need to make sure that you, your family, and your loved ones are going to be able to survive what's coming? I have no idea what's coming, when it's coming, but I am working diligently to make sure that I'm as prepared as I can be, and I urge you all to do exactly the same. take inventory, take a look around you, make sure that you've got the things that you need. And tangibles can even be comfort kind of items. Blankets and pillows and sleeping bags and tents and camping equipment. That's the kind of stuff that we need to be investing in to make sure that we're going to be able to make it through the dark days that are coming. I'm very concerned about food shortages, very concerned that the current administration's policies to try to shift immediately to green energy by stymieing, by curtailing, by regulating it out of existence would be any of the fossil fuels which we rely on. I can't imagine that there's a farmer out there that's got an electric vehicle tractor and that he's plowing his fields with it right now, he's harvesting grain with it right now. It just doesn't happen. Those guys are running on diesel, they're running on gasoline. There may be a few that are running on liquid natural gas, but they're pretty much diesel dependent right now, and diesel's going for over $5 a gallon. That means prices are going to increase. The prices of the foodstuffs that we're used to getting is going to increase. And without the fertilizer coming in from Europe, where we're very used to having that availability, things that we're normally seeing on the grocery store shelves just ain't going to be there. In fact, we might not be able to see anything in the grocery stores because they may not be there. And there may be food lines. There may be bread lines. There may be all kinds of horrible things. And I want to make sure that me and my family don't have to deal with that. So we're stocking up. We're making our list. We're checking it twice. This is the Prepared Suburbanite reminding you to be prepared always. And I'll see you all in the next video.